Welcome to The Great Green Energy Lie: Why Solar and Wind Might Not Save Us. In today's video, we will dive deep into the complexities surrounding renewable energy sources, specifically solar and wind, and uncover the challenges that may undermine their potential as a solution to our energy needs. From issues of intermittency and energy storage to the environmental impacts and economic viability, we will explore the intricacies of transitioning to green energy. As we examine these factors, we'll also touch upon the global disparities in energy transition and how they can affect the future of our planet. Join us as we take a critical look at whether renewable energy can truly pave the way to a sustainable future. 1. The intermittency dilemma. One of the most glaring issues with solar and wind energy is their intermittency. Unlike fossil fuels, which can be burned on demand, solar and wind rely heavily on environmental conditions. The sun doesn't shine at night, and the wind doesn't always blow. This means that these energy sources can be unpredictable, leading to potential energy shortages when they're most needed. For example, during a cold, windless night, solar panels and wind turbines may not produce the energy required to meet demands. This unpredictability can lead to reliance on backup power systems, often involving fossil fuels, thus undermining the green promise. 2. Storage challenges. Connected to intermittency is the challenge of storing solar and wind energy. Current battery technologies are struggling to keep pace with the storage demands required for a reliable energy supply. Large-scale storage solutions are expensive and often not yet fully efficient. Batteries need to be massive to store energy for days when the sun doesn't shine or the wind doesn't blow. These storage systems also come with their own environmental and economic costs, including resource extraction and disposal issues. Without effective storage solutions, the promise of solar and wind energy remains partially unfulfilled. 3. Environmental impact and resource use. While solar and wind energy are cleaner than fossil fuels, they are not without environmental costs. The production and disposal of solar panels and wind turbines involves significant resource use. For instance, the mining of rare earth metals, essential for these technologies, can result in environmental degradation. Additionally, the manufacturing process of solar panels can release hazardous chemicals. Wind turbines, while producing clean energy, can also impact local wildlife, particularly birds and bats. These factors contribute to a more nuanced understanding of what it means to be green. 4. Economic viability and job market. The economic implications of transitioning to solar and wind energy are complex. While these industries promise job creation, the reality is that the jobs may not always align with the skills of the existing workforce. Furthermore, the initial investment costs for solar and wind infrastructure can be prohibitive. Governments and private entities must weigh these costs against potential long-term savings. In some regions, the economic benefits do not yet outweigh the costs, creating a barrier to widespread adoption. The financial burden could potentially slow down the transition to green energy. 5. Infrastructure and land use. The deployment of solar panels and wind turbines requires significant land use and infrastructure development. Large solar farms and wind parks can occupy vast areas, sometimes leading to land use conflicts. This is particularly true in densely populated or ecologically sensitive areas. The infrastructure needed to connect these energy sources to the grid can also be extensive and costly. Transmission lines have to be built, often across long distances, raising further environmental and economic concerns. Balancing the need for energy with the preservation of land remains a critical challenge. 6. Grid stability and integration. Integrating solar and wind energy into existing power grids poses a significant challenge. The grid must be able to handle variable energy inputs without compromising stability. This requires advanced technology and infrastructure that can adapt to fluctuating energy levels. Moreover, as more renewable energy is integrated, grid operators face increased complexity in maintaining a stable power supply. The risk of blackouts or grid failure can rise if the integration is not managed effectively. Ensuring grid stability is an ongoing challenge in the transition to green energy. 7. Global disparities in energy transition. The transition to solar and wind energy is not uniform across the globe. Developed countries often have the resources to invest in these technologies, while developing nations may struggle with the costs. This disparity can lead to unequal access to clean energy, exacerbating global inequalities. Moreover, different regions have varying levels of sunlight and wind, affecting the feasibility of these energy sources. The global energy transition requires careful consideration of these disparities to ensure a fair and sustainable future for all. 8. Conclusion. In conclusion, while solar and wind energy represent a hopeful step towards a more sustainable future, they are not without challenges. Intermittency, storage, environmental impact, economic viability, and infrastructure issues all present significant hurdles. As we continue to pursue green energy solutions, it is crucial to address these challenges head-on. Only by confronting these issues can we truly harness the potential of solar and wind energy in our quest to save the planet.